The poor boy who refused to give up. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, on the small Portuguese island of Madeira. At that time, nobody believed that this little boy from a poor family would one day rise to become one of the greatest footballers in history. His name would echo in the biggest stadiums in the world. His image would appear on posters, shirts, and billboards. But back then, Cristiano was just another child growing up in poverty, living in a small house with big dreams. His family did not have much. His father, José Diniz Aveiro, worked as a gardener and also helped as a kit man at a local football club. His mother, Maria Dolores, worked as a cook and a cleaner, taking on long hours just to make sure the family could survive. They had 4 children, and Cristiano was the youngest. Money was always tight. Sometimes there was not enough food on the table. But despite the struggles, his parents gave what they could, and Cristiano grew up surrounded by love. From a very early age, Ronaldo was different. While other children played casually, he treated football as if his life depended on it. He could spend hours with the ball, kicking it against walls, chasing it down narrow streets, and dribbling past anyone who dared to challenge him. He would even skip meals just to keep playing. His neighbors and friends often said that he lived for football. And they were right. Cristiano's father, who worked part-time at the local club Andorina, introduced him to the world of football. By the age of 8, Ronaldo was already playing for Andorina, where his father helped wash the kits. He was smaller than many of the other boys, but his speed, skill, and hunger made him stand out. He wasn't just talented. He was obsessed. He would cry if his team lost. He would train harder than anyone else. Even then, people could see that this boy was not ordinary. But life at home was still hard. Ronaldo often wore hand-me-down clothes. He sometimes played in worn-out shoes, and when he didn't have a ball, he made one out of rags or bottles. Poverty could have broken him. Instead, it fueled him. Every hardship became motivation. Every struggle became a reason to fight harder. At school, Cristiano was not a strong student. He found it difficult to focus in class because all he could think about was football. Some of his classmates teased him for his Madeiran accent, calling him names. He felt like an outsider, and many times, he cried in frustration. But rather than let those insults defeat him, Ronaldo turned them into fire. He wanted to prove everyone wrong. His talent grew, and soon bigger clubs in Madeira started to notice him. He joined Nacional, one of the island's top teams, and quickly rose through the ranks. By the age of 10, Ronaldo was already being called a phenomenon. Coaches described him as unstoppable. He was faster, sharper, and hungrier than any boy his age. But his family's poverty remained a challenge. His mother often had to borrow money to pay for his boots or his trips. Still, she supported him fully, believing that her son could one day achieve something extraordinary. The turning point came when Sporting Lisbon, one of Portugal's biggest clubs, invited Ronaldo for a trial. At just 12 years old, Cristiano traveled far from his island home to Lisbon, the capital city. It was the chance of a lifetime, but it also meant leaving behind everything he knew: his family, his friends, and his home. His mother wept as she sent her youngest son away, but she knew it was his only chance to escape poverty. Life in Lisbon was not easy. Cristiano was just a boy, far from home, living in a dormitory with other young players. He cried almost every night because he missed his family. The other boys teased him for his accent and his background. He felt lonely and out of place. But instead of quitting, he trained harder. While others rested, Ronaldo kept practicing. While others laughed and joked, he pushed himself to exhaustion. His coaches began to notice. They saw a boy who was willing to suffer to become great. Ronaldo's determination was relentless. He would sprint faster than anyone. He would practice tricks over and over until he perfected them. He wasn't just playing football. He was shaping himself into a machine. His obsession with improvement became his trademark. At just 14, he was already training with players much older than him. He was small, but he played with courage. Nothing scared him. At 15, disaster almost struck. Doctors discovered that Ronaldo had a heart condition. If it wasn't treated, it could end his career before it even began. For a moment, his dream was in danger. But with surgery, the problem was fixed. Just weeks later, Cristiano was back on the pitch, playing with even more fire than before. It was as if life itself had tested him, and he had refused to give up. By 16, he was already playing for Sporting Lisbon's youth team. By 17, he was promoted to the first team. His rise was unstoppable. Coaches, players, and fans all saw something rare in him. He wasn't just talented. He was driven in a way few others were. His hunger was unmatched. His speed was electrifying. His skill was dazzling. Every time he stepped on the pitch, people stopped to watch. But even as his career began to grow, Ronaldo never forgot where he came from. He remembered the nights of hunger. He remembered the insults. He remembered the tears. And he carried all of that with him, turning every pain into power. The boy from Madeira, the boy who played barefoot in the streets, the boy who cried alone in Lisbon, he had refused to give up. He was on his way to becoming a legend. This is the story of Cristiano Ronaldo's childhood. A story of poverty, struggle, and sacrifice. A story of pain, but also of unstoppable belief. A story that proves that greatness is not born. It is built. Cristiano Ronaldo built his greatness with tears, sweat, and endless determination. He was the poor boy who refused to give up. And because of that, the world would never forget his name. At Sporting Lisbon, Cristiano Ronaldo was not just another young player. He was a boy on a mission. Every training session was a test of character. Every game was a chance to prove that his sacrifice leaving his family behind was worth it. The coaches often said that Ronaldo trained like no one else. When practice ended, most players went home to rest. Not Ronaldo. He stayed behind, running sprints, shooting at goal, practicing dribbles. He wanted perfection. He wanted to be the best. Even at a young age, he was obsessed with improvement. In 2002, at just 17 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo made his professional debut for Sporting Lisbon's first team. It was a dream come true. For the boy who once played barefoot in Madeira, stepping onto a professional pitch was proof that his struggle had meaning. And he didn't waste the opportunity. His speed, his tricks, and his confidence stunned the crowd. People started talking about the young star from Madeira. 1 year later, in 2003, Sporting Lisbon played a friendly match against Manchester United. It was a game that changed Ronaldo's life forever. On that day, Ronaldo destroyed Manchester United's defense. He ran past experienced players as if they were children. He humiliated defenders with his pace and skill. After the match, United's players begged their manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, to sign him. They had never seen anything like him. Just weeks later, Cristiano Ronaldo joined Manchester United. He was only 18 years old. For the boy who once cried himself to sleep in Lisbon, this was the chance to prove himself on one of the biggest stages in the world. Life in England was not easy. Ronaldo did not speak the language well. The culture was different. The weather was cold and harsh. And the Premier League was tough, full of strong, physical defenders who did not care about his tricks. Many people doubted him. They said he was too skinny, too selfish, too flashy. They said he would fail. But once again, Ronaldo refused to give up. He worked harder than everyone else. In the gym, he built his body into a machine. On the training pitch, he practiced free kicks, step-overs, and finishing until he was unstoppable. Slowly, he turned criticism into motivation. Slowly, he turned doubt into fear. In his early years at United, Ronaldo was sometimes frustrating to watch. He wanted to dribble too much. He wanted to do too many tricks. But Sir Alex Ferguson guided him, teaching him discipline, teaching him how to use his talent to win games. Ronaldo listened, and he grew. By the 2006-07 season, he exploded. He scored goals, he made assists, and he dominated matches. He was no longer just a showman. He was a winner. That season, he helped Manchester United win the Premier League. It was only the beginning. The next year, 2007 was the season that changed everything. Ronaldo was unstoppable. He scored 42 goals in all competitions, leading Manchester United to both the Premier League title and the UEFA Champions League trophy. He became the best player in the world. At the end of that year, he won his first Ballon d'Or, the award given to the greatest footballer in the world. For Cristiano Ronaldo, it was the ultimate proof. The poor boy from Madeira, the boy who was mocked for his accent, the boy who left home at 12, the boy who once played barefoot, he was now the best footballer on the planet. But his journey was not only about club football. Ronaldo also carried the hopes of Portugal. In 2004, at just 19 years old, he played in the European Championship, held in his home country. He scored goals, he electrified fans, and he led Portugal all the way to the final. But in the final, they lost to Greece in one of the biggest shocks in football history. Ronaldo cried on the pitch. He felt he had let his country down. Those tears became fire. They became fuel for the future. Ronaldo promised himself he would one day lift a trophy for Portugal. At Manchester United, his legend continued to grow. By 2009, he had won 3 Premier League titles, a Champions League, and a Ballon d'Or. He was adored by fans, feared by defenders, and respected by the world. But Ronaldo wanted more. He wanted new challenges. He wanted to test himself at the highest level possible. That chance came in the summer of 2009, when Real Madrid signed him for a world record fee. For £80 million, Cristiano Ronaldo became the most expensive player in history. He was joining the biggest club in the world, a team filled with stars, in the city where legends were made. The boy who once had nothing now carried the hopes of millions. But he was ready. He had faced poverty. He had faced doubt. He had faced loneliness. And he refused to give up every time. At Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo was about to take his story to an even higher level. When Cristiano Ronaldo arrived in Madrid in the summer of 2009, the city was buzzing with excitement. Real Madrid had just broken the world transfer record to bring him from Manchester United. 80,000 fans filled the Santiago Bernabéu stadium to welcome him. The pressure was enormous. The world was watching. Many wondered if he could handle the weight of expectation. Cristiano Ronaldo did not disappoint. From the moment he stepped onto the pitch, he proved he was worth every cent. In his very first season, he scored 33 goals. But for Ronaldo, that was just the beginning. At Real Madrid, he became a goal-scoring machine. His speed, his power, and his hunger to win made him unstoppable. Defenders tried everything but kicking him, marking him tightly, doubling up on him, but Ronaldo always found a way. Every season, he broke records. Every season, he sets new standards. But what made his time at Madrid even more special was his rivalry with Lionel Messi of Barcelona. For nearly a decade, the two giants of football pushed each other to impossible heights. When Messi scored a hat-trick, Ronaldo answered with one of his own. When Ronaldo broke a record, Messi broke another. They made football history together. Fans debated endlessly about who was better. But one thing was clear, the world was blessed to witness such greatness at the same time. Between 2009 and 2018, Ronaldo became the face of Real Madrid. He scored an unbelievable 450 goals in just 438 appearances, more goals than games. He became the club's all-time leading scorer, breaking records that many thought would stand forever. But it wasn't just about numbers. Ronaldo delivered when it mattered most. In the UEFA Champions League, the toughest competition in club football, he was unstoppable. He scored in the finals, in the semi-finals, in the quarter-finals. He carried Madrid on his shoulders. In 2014, he helped Real Madrid win their long-awaited 10th European Cup, known as La Decima. It was a dream for the fans, and Ronaldo was at the heart of it. But he didn't stop there. Between 2016 and 2018, he led Madrid to 3 consecutive Champions League titles, something no modern team had achieved before. By the time he left Real Madrid in 2018, Ronaldo had won 4 Champions League trophies with the club, 2 La Liga titles, and countless personal awards. He had turned himself into a legend, not just for Madrid, but for the entire world of football. Yet, while he was conquering Europe with his club, Ronaldo never forgot about his country. He carried Portugal in every tournament. Sometimes he won, sometimes he lost, but he always gave everything. And in 2016, the moment finally arrived. Portugal reached the final of the European Championship in France. Ronaldo started the game full of hope, but early in the first half, he was injured. Tears streamed down his face as he was carried off the pitch. It looked like heartbreak again. But even from the sidelines, Ronaldo refused to give up. He stood next to the coach, shouting instructions, encouraging his teammates, almost like a second manager. Portugal fought bravely, and in extra time, they scored the winning goal. When the referee blew the final whistle, Ronaldo collapsed to the ground in joy. At last, he had delivered a trophy for his country. It was one of the proudest moments of his life. 2 years later, in 2019, Ronaldo lifted another trophy with Portugal, the UEFA Nations League. He had fulfilled his promise. The boy who once cried in 2004 after losing to Greece was now a champion for his nation. After his Real Madrid chapter, Ronaldo moved to Juventus in Italy in 2018. Many thought he was past his best. They said Serie A would be too difficult. But once again, he proved them wrong. He scored goals, won league titles, and showed the world that age was just a number. In 2021, he returned to Manchester United. It was a homecoming, a chance to give back to the club that first believed in him. He scored goals and created magical nights at Old Trafford again. But United was struggling as a team, and the dream return did not last long. In 2022, Ronaldo made another bold move. He joined Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, becoming the face of football in the Middle East. Some criticized him, saying he was chasing money. But Ronaldo saw it differently. He wanted to grow the game in new regions. He wanted to inspire a new generation of fans around the world. And once again, he became a pioneer. Throughout his career, Cristiano Ronaldo has faced criticism, doubt, and hate. People have called him arrogant, selfish, and even finished. But every time, he has answered the only way he knows how, and by working harder, by scoring goals, and by winning trophies. Off the pitch, Ronaldo is also a role model. He takes care of his body with incredible discipline. He is known for his strict diet, his daily training routines, and his obsession with improvement. Even in his late 30s, he still plays at the highest level, proving that hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. Beyond football, Ronaldo is also a father. He often says his children are his greatest motivation. The same man who once cried in Madeira because he missed his family now creates a loving home for his own kids. He has built a legacy not only in football but also in life. Cristiano Ronaldo's story is more than a story about goals and trophies. It is a story about sacrifice, about resilience, and about refusing to give up. From a poor boy on a small island to one of the greatest athletes in history, his journey inspires millions. He has shown the world that no dream is too big, no obstacle too heavy, and no challenge too hard if you are willing to work for it. Today, when fans look at Cristiano Ronaldo, they don't just see a footballer. They see hope. They see the power of belief. They see proof that even the humblest beginnings can lead to the greatest achievements. The poor boy from Madeira became a legend. Not because he was lucky. Not because it was easy. But because he refused to give up. And that is why his story will live forever.